Hello, Luke. Thank you for joining me today for the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Our absolute pleasure. Just to let you know, my colleague is going to be reviewing all the interviews and applicants with me later today. So we're recording the interviews. Is that okay to record with you?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just to start off with, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
My name's Luke. I'm 18. I lived in Luton my whole life. I enjoy games and also I enjoy the media. I enjoy media industry.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell me what you know about Capcorn as a company?
I know it's a huge company with loads of titles. They create lots of games. Also know that they make games for all sorts of ages. And
And
I
any
know
particular titles that you're aware of?
Street Fighter is the main one what pops to mind. I always think of that.
Okay, yeah, but one of our legacy titles, definitely. And can you tell me what it is about the games industry that is appealing to you? Why do you want to work within the games industry?
Well, I like playing games. I've also had a huge interest in games ever since from about 7 years old. I also find it interesting whenever a new release of a game comes out or whenever there's anything to do with gaming, and I also find it interesting. It just intrigues me in general and entices me to want to know more and also find out what can happen and also how they're made and what what happens in order for a game to go from one thing to being completely finished.
Okay. And can you tell me what you understand about what's involved in this role that we've advertised? What's your understanding of the skills and the attributes required? And can you give me examples of how you've demonstrated those skills?
I know that staying determined was one, having strong leadership skills, also being independent, and also working as a team were all ones will what come to mind. I've showed determination from going from tasks where I'm like, oh, I can't finish this to finishing it within a certain time. I also feel like it kind of it keeps pushing me, and I always want to keep improving upon myself. To always wanting to push myself to do better than what I previously can. I don't want to just keep doing uh, the same thing. I want to try and always one up myself, so I'm always bettering myself. I showed independence when I had to create a magazine last year for my final product, which I really enjoyed, as I never actually made a magazine until that moment, and it was great finding something new, and also just researching and finding all the information about it to creating a project I didn't have much knowledge about. I've also showed team skill whenever I've worked in a group with people. Whenever somebody needs help or it's just a little bit stuck, I'll show them how to use it. So, for example, on the cameras, I've helped people work it before because I've used them on my own, and then if you and they didn't really know what they're doing, so I had to like kind of show them how to uh, check it and make sure that it's definitely on there.
Okay, so you've got knowledge of production equipment and you've got knowledge of working as part of a team. Do you have knowledge of post-production editing software?
Yeah, I've edited a lot of things and I've created a lot of projects. One of my favorite ones I created was actually a film trailer I made where I had to create a movie and then change the genre of it, which I really enjoyed because it was very challenging. Because the movie I was turning was a comedy adventure, and I had to change it to a horror. But I really enjoyed it as it
Okay,
pushed me.
okay. And can you tell me about if what your strengths are and what your weakness, or one strength and one weakness that you bet you have?
A strength, I'd say I'm very sociable and I get along with everyone. Um, A weakness, I would say. Hmm. Probably my grammar isn't the best. Like my spelling isn't always correct, but I normally do double check it using spell checkers.
Okay. And can you tell me where you see your career going? What's your ambition in, say, in 5 years' time? Where do you want to see yourself?
In 5 years' time, I want to see myself. Uh, Basically, I want to see myself as a successful person, and also, uh, hopefully, keeping myself healthy. I also want to make sure that everything will hopefully go smoothly, and I won't really have any problems. I also want to just keep going how I'm going, staying confident, and also never being shy away of doing things. I want to just keep uh, improving myself and learning.
Have you got a specific career aspiration? As the, a particular role or a particular level that you want to work within the games industry?
I like creating things, so maybe digital design or something upon them lines would be very interesting, as it's always intrigued me how they actually get the designs to come out from drawings to being created onto a computer screen, and how they get it to look exactly how they initially thought about planning it.
If you had the opportunity to pitch an idea to the senior production team, and for a video game, and they wanted you to give a whole description of what you visualized, what would your idea be?
My idea would probably be a game that is probably it would be a game that would attract all ages, as this will be a larger target audience. It'd probably also be a game that is, I wouldn't say completely friendly, but it would also have a bit of action involved in it, because action games seem to be very popular at the minute. And I see a lot of people just talking about the most action games and what action games coming up, etc. And I feel like this is something that would probably make people want to buy it. A
What do
game.
you mean by action games?
So there's a lot of shooters, but you couldn't have a shooter what exactly it is for everyone. It'd probably have to be at 18. But with shooters, you could probably change the way the mechanics work to make it possibly playable for children. So, for example, you could turn it into like a paintballing game or something. So
Right.
instead of having bullets, you'd have the paint, and this could probably be targeted between 12, probably about 12-year-old, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And this would probably have better target range, because obviously it's still shooting and there's still going to be a lot of action. And you could expand this idea of a lot of things. You could add like different maps for the actual game itself. You could also add different ways the game can be played. You can also add different vehicles and stuff, using like anything you can just add to it from real life, essentially.
Okay. And do you have any questions for me at the current time?
I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Uh,
Do you have any questions?
so I was gonna ask if uh, how how's COVID working with working on the company? Like how?
It's affected all industries in all ways, but we're lucky in our industry that it's actually been a growth period for us. Sales division, and our numbers are up, but also our demand is up. So we are very, very busy at the moment, hitting deadlines, as I'm sure you're aware. There are penalties if we don't hit deadlines in game production. So we are incredibly busy, but we are having to work some of our workers remotely. but there is still the need for the high-powered servers to come in and to work collectively. So we're putting all kinds of strategies in place for social distancing and people working in singular pods, and where they can, they work remotely. But we would be looking for you to initially work remotely if you are a successful candidate, and then to obviously within 6 months, we're hoping, it's up for debate though, for us to get more of the team back in to be working kind of more collaboratively. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that does.
And do you have any other questions for me today?
I was just going to say I'm very sorry about my phone going off.
That's okay.
Inappropriate.
These things happen. Can I just ask one more question? We have a lot of applicants for this role. Why should we choose you over everybody else?
I would say because I'm very determined, I'm hardworking. I'll show loyalty to the company. I'll even advertise it upon my own social platforms, essentially saying to my friends and different people I haven't met, advertising what's happening, what new releases are coming out, what can help the company and increase the company's customers, essentially. I'll also stay loyal to the company, and I'll also be very trustworthy, because I think being trustworthy is the most important thing.
Okay, thank you so much, Luke, for your time today. We appreciate your patience in us getting to you, and we will be in touch, and we will let the successful applicants know early next week. Okay?
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Thank you.